Welcome back to tell me your LSC story. So this one's a special edition for you. As you know, we have got one tomorrow night, which is Lewis Aspinall. I'm really looking forward to you watching that. Um, but this one is with my middle daughter. We mentioned it in the episode 2 of Living with a Liverpool Fanatic. So Imogen's a big Liverpool fan, and she started watching Liverpool when she was about 12. She's now 17. So what we'll do is we'll get straight into it. It's not going to be like the rest where it's 2 or 3 hours, like some of them have been. This is just going to be a short, sharp questions. 10 questions for Imogen. Let's get started. So tell everybody, Imogen, quickly about you, what you do at college and stuff, and then why you fell in love with Liverpool.
So I am currently doing my T levels in child education, which I've really enjoyed the past 2 years doing that. And then I am moving on to do my degree in teaching. I really enjoy being around children, and I think it's really fun to be able to teach them and see them grow up and actually understand their brains.
Before you continue, tell them the best part of it.
I do actually teach Tyson's daughter, Tyson Fury.
Not just Tyson's daughter, though. You've done others as well, haven't
Oh,
you? Nieces and nephews, all sorts.
yeah. So I work with the travel community, so there's a lot of Tyson's relatives at the school, which is really fun. And I have actually met Tyson too.
Yeah. What is it the kids usually, is it Athena? Who was it she always says? "Do you know my dad?"
Yeah, she goes, "Do you know my dad? Do you know who he is?" It's so funny.
But obviously, you're not allowed to disclaim anything like that, yeah.
No. So I fell in love with Liverpool when I was a young child. Um, Obviously with my dad being a huge Liverpool fan, it's always been on the TV since I was very little. And I kind of started watching a few games around 10, and then when I was around 12, I started watching every game, being really invested in what was going on, asking my dad about transfers and things like that. So yeah, I was about 12 when I became a big Liverpool fan.
So, obviously when you were younger, we always had Liverpool TV. So we used to watch quite a lot of youth team players and stuff. So maybe you won't remember, but when you were really young, I think you're probably about 11 when we started watching the youth team, and I was saying to you about Trent being the next big thing, and then obviously we watched him come into the first team. What did you think of Trent and when he left?
I have always loved Trent. I think he's got a lot of talent, a lot of potential, and I don't think there's anybody like Trent in the football world that I've ever seen. I think him leaving, I think it wasn't a shock. I think because of all the rumours that were going around last season, we kind of knew it was coming. Um, but it was quite upsetting because he's kind of the only right back I've ever known, and I love him. But I think he deserves a change, and he deserves to progress in his career and have the opportunity to try out a different league in the world and be under a different team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was at the club from 6 years old. So, I mean, I said this in previous videos that if you do a job for 20 years, eventually you're going to want to change your scenery. And unfortunately, I think that's what Trent wanted. But in my opinion, you will never get another right back at Liverpool that did what Trent did. He was a hybrid. What other players do you like?
So in the team currently, I really like Sabozlai. I think he's got a lot of potential, a lot of talent. Um, TK, absolutely love him. Best signing we made last summer, in my opinion. Obviously Salah. That's a no-brainer. Everybody loves Salah, and I think because I was only 12 when I started watching it, Salah's been the only right winger I've ever really known. Um, Robbo, I absolutely love Robbo. I will be gutted when he goes.
Do you think Robbo's going to go in the summer, or do you think he might stay?
I think he'll go this summer. I think now we've got Kirkes, he's not getting as much game time. Um, I personally think he should have got more game time this season, and Kirkes should have been like trying to learn from Robbo. But that's just not the way it's played out. So he probably will go this summer.
Yeah, I've actually said a few times on this channel, I think if it was Klopp that was in charge and Kirkes came, I think he would have been understudy for a year.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I also really like Van Dijk. Love Van Dijk. He's probably the best centre back I've ever seen, anyways. Um, and obviously Allison's really good. He's just injury prone at the moment, which is fun.
Yeah, well, there's something coming up. It's either coming up, I can't remember. It's either coming up or already on the channel about Allison's injuries from Scott's injury deep dive. Not sure if he's already done that or he's doing the ESAC one today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. You have to check back on the channel, but I think the Allison one's already on there. You want to take a look at that because Scott is really knowledgeable when it comes to injuries. I mean, he's got a degree in sports science. So let's just briefly, quickly go back to Salah. How do you feel about Salah going?
I'm not shocked. I think you kind of prepared me for that one, saying he's it's coming. I think it is. It does upset me a little bit because obviously I've only ever watched Salah on that right wing, but I think that's the thing with football. They come and they go, and that's just something that I've had to kind of accept over the years.
Yeah, well, over the years, you've had some of your best players leave, haven't you? Like Firmino, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You know, some of your favourite players have all left over the years, haven't they? Mane.
Mm. They have. I think the most upsetting one for me was Henderson. Because when I started watching Liverpool, he was captain. Um, and it was just really upsetting seeing him leave. I think I cried for about, what, 3 days?
Well, that's the thing with Henderson, isn't it? He's like the most successful modern day captain that we've probably. Well, he is the most modern day. You can't really class Gerrard as a modern day better captain than Henderson. I mean, he won everything, didn't he, Henderson?
He did, and it was really sad to see him go, but hopefully we'll see him soon at the Legends Games. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be cool. Hopefully it'll be next year. I can't see him being much longer. But you never know with players. They're getting fitter and fitter, aren't they? So, so now we've done your favourite players. What about your worst players? When we signed in, and you thought to yourself, "Who's that?" And then you've done a bit of research, and you've still thought, "I don't think he's a Liverpool player."
For me, it was Arthur Melo. I still don't even know who he is. I don't. He was just honestly awful, wasn't he? He played for what, one game?
Yeah, I think it was a panic buy, that wasn't it? I think we had too many injuries, and then January is really difficult to get players in. But yeah, there was a panic by that.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same about Chiesa as well. At first, like I read up on him and I was like, who? And then obviously he got injured, and I was just like, oh, well, he's not great, is he? I think my opinions have changed on him now. I think he's got the talent there, but then I also thought the same about Keita as well. So
Yeah, Keita, for me, when he played in Germany, I thought it was brilliant. It was banging him in from 30 yards. He was running the midfield. Maybe it's just different league, different physicality. Maybe he just couldn't, he wasn't cut out to be in English football.
I think that's the thing when it comes to like different players around the world. Like it's okay to be in one league, but the Premier League's just it's fast paced. You don't have much time on the ball, and it is really different to any other league in the world.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Curtis Jones is another one. Not say he's one of the worst players, but what I'm saying is, I think he wants too much time on the ball. I think if he played in Germany or Italy, I think he'd be a world beater.
Yeah, I agree. I think Curtis Jones is just not. He's not at that Premier League level for me. Um, but also I think Carvalho's quite an underrated one. I think a lot of people really do underrate him, but I think he had quite a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford have had a few of our good young players, haven't they? They've had Sepp Vandenberg, Carvalho, now Kelleher, now Henderson as well. So they've had quite a few of our players. I'll tell you what you didn't mention, which I'm surprised about. When you talked about favourite players, you didn't mention about Harvey Elliott.
I didn't because I was going off what the team is now, but Harvey Elliott is my husband, okay? And for me, I would have kept him and got rid of Curtis Jones because he just has so much more talent. His crosses, his everything. I think he would work well with the team, but Slot's an idiot and decided to loan him out. So
Also, as well, um, we didn't mention about Bobby Clark. I know that you've really rated Bobby Clark
yeah,
before he left Liverpool. We watched him, didn't we, for the under 21, Liverpool under 21s versus Morecambe.
yeah, that was amazing. That was. We were actually in the Morecambe end because our uncle worked there and got us tickets. And Bobby Clark scored twice, and I had to try and contain my excitement. But it was such a good game. It was amazing to see him play live. Got lots of pictures and videos, and it was just amazing to actually be able to witness his ability and talent live.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I think there was quite a few good young players. I think Scanlon was really good in that game as well. I think he played left back, didn't he, or right back? But he's not, as far as I know, he's not a full back. But yeah, we won't go into in this video too much about our youth team. We'll maybe do some a bit further down the line. But we've watched the youth team quite a lot over the years, and we've watched a lot of good players leave before they've even got to the first team.
Yeah.
But that's probably a different video at a different time. What we'll do is we'll stick to the script with this. So the next bit we're going to talk about is Jurgen Klopp, unfortunately. So obviously, when you started watching Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp was manager, really, wasn't he? And we had some great times. You want to talk a little bit about Jurgen Klopp and then how you felt when he left?
I honestly think, well, for me, I'm biased, but Klopp is the best manager I've ever seen. I kind of sort of remember Brendan Rodgers being in charge a little bit. Like I say, I was really young when Brendan Rodgers was in charge, so I wasn't really watching constantly and really invested. But by the time I was really invested and loved football, I was 12, so it would have been about 2020, 2019 ish. So Klopp was like winning trophies, and I honestly think that Klopp did amazing things with the team. He won everything. He made the fans feel like a family again, and it was great. Um, so yeah, when he left, I was absolutely devastated. I was at school and I was in year 11 doing my mock exams. Came out of my mock exams to a link to a YouTube video from my dad. And Klopp was leaving. I honestly burst into tears. It's like I still can't watch that video the whole way through. It gets me every time. It's just honestly devastating. And I think obviously he deserves a change and things like that, but I'm hoping maybe one day he'll come back.
Well, it's a possibility, isn't it? I mean, I always remember going back to when he first came in October 15 and he said, I want to change us from doubters to believers. And that stuck. And he did. I mean, his first couple of years, he, he didn't really get as much support. That's the only thing that bugged me about Klopp's time. He didn't really get much backing. I mean, the first 2 years he really struggled. I mean, most of the time he had youth team players in and stuff. I think if Klopp got more of a backing during his 9 years, I think we'd have won a lot more. I mean, Pep Guardiola always said, didn't he? My biggest rival was always Jurgen Klopp. There was nobody that could, what was it, wake me up at night worrying about the game or something. And he said I never worried about any games apart from playing against Klopp's teams. And that wasn't just with Liverpool. That was when he was at Bayern Munich with Dortmund and stuff like that. You know, so everywhere that he's been, Klopp's always been a thorn in his side.
Yeah, I think Klopp's one of them managers where he can just do magical things with any team. And I think he just brings the spirits up of the team like he's such a happy person. He brought the spirits up of the fans and everybody. I think that's why everybody loved him so much because he always like showed us that if you have faith, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's what everybody says, though, don't they? That if you want something and you want it bad enough, you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself. And that's what Doubters to Believers is all about. So if we jump forward a little bit now, let's talk about what's changed. So obviously we know we won the Premier League last season. For me, when we were mathematical champions, I think it's been a massive slide since then.
Yeah, I think obviously after we like mathematically won it against Tottenham, I think it was last season. I think after that it just kind of started going down and the players lost interest completely. And then obviously we lost Trent over the summer, which was a massive loss. We we lost Kelleher, and then we made some signings. For me, some are quite questionable. And then obviously he's changed the team so much. We've lost Harvey Elliott. Well, he's out on loan, isn't he? I think that was a stupid decision. I think he's got rid of people that didn't need to go and got people in that we didn't need.
I think one of the things that shocked me the most is getting rid of Kwanzaa. I think he had massive potential. That was a massive mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked Quanta. I think he was young. He had that talent. He had the potential. I think getting rid of him was silly. And it's not really, well, we didn't really get anybody in to replace him. Obviously, we got that Leone in, but he was still very young. And obviously, now he's injured. So,
Yeah, he's due back though, isn't he? The team could be about to get a few good players back towards the end of the season, which is good news. I mean, Isak's back in training. Leone's on the road to recovery now. You know, apparently Jeremy Jacquet, I know he's not coming to us till next season, but his shoulder injuries on the mend as well, so he should be good for pre-season. So it is looking good. I mean, we've got Frimpong back now, and the thing that really bugged me the most, like you've just said about Kwanzaa not being replaced, is losing out on Matt Gahey last summer. I think that was a big, big loss, and now he's gone to Man City because we didn't go back in for him.
yeah, I think with Mark Gahey, I think th- this is the thing. If we would have not got Isak, in my ideal world, we wouldn't have got Isak and we would have got Gahey and paid the money that they wanted for him. If we would have got him, I think it would have been a completely different dynamic this season because the defense just isn't where it needs to be.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Isak was brilliant at Newcastle last season, and it's more of the long term of Isak, isn't it? If we can get these injuries out of the way this season, you know, and keep him fit, the talent's definitely there. I mean, for me, when he's fit and firing, there's only Haaland better than him. You know, then you've got Ekitike. He's going to get even better next season. Frimpong's going to be more settled. Perkaz is going to be more settled. I know it's not good to struggle this year, but if we win the title next year, I'd take that all day long.
Yeah, I think. See, I have my opinions on Isak because I don't think we needed him. I don't. I think it was a silly choice. I think that money could have been spent on obviously a centre back or a backup right back, which we clearly needed. I think after getting Ekatike, it should have just been spent where we were desperate rather than somewhere where we just kind of needed a like somebody else.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, the only thing that I thought was why they went for Isak is because obviously we sold Diaz, we lost Jota, and then Nunes went as well. So we only had Gakpo, Salah, and Ekitike. You know, I know we've got Rio and Gamora and stuff, but it would have left us very, very short. But to spend what was it, 80 million on Ekitike, then 120 million on Isak, it was 200 million on two players, and then 110 million or whatever it was for Verts. You know, again, will be even better next season. But let's say I want to get your opinions on Arnie Slot. So, obviously, we were loving him last season, weren't we? He won the league. But what do you think is completely changed? I think his attitude's changed. I think he's a lot more arrogant now.
Yeah, I think because he's won his the Premier League in his first season, he's kind of just got that arrogant hat on now. But in my opinion, he won it with Klopp's team. Yeah, he has his own tactics, but it was Klopp's team. So, and honestly, I don't even know what happened in the league last season. It wasn't great, was it? Something happened and teams were all over the place and but I think because he's now won that in his first season, he's got really arrogant and thought, "Yeah, I'm the best manager in the league. I can do whatever I want with this team." And I think the players have just gone, "Actually, you're wrong, and just completely given up on him. But also losing those players and then getting these new players in, like getting Isak in last minute, he didn't have a pre-season. And I don't think pre-season has went the way that he wanted it to because in the start of the season they didn't really look like a team.
No, I mean, I was going to ask you about that. So, what did you think about when he said in his press conference, "I deserve more respect. I'm one of two people to win the Premier League for Liverpool in the last 30 years."
I just think Slot really irritates me. I think he, he makes me want to rip my own hair out, to be honest. I think you don't just get respect, you earn it.
Yeah,
Yes, you won it in your first season. What have you done since then? Nothing. Nothing.
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think the teams were the poor last season, weren't they? It was as if it was too easy. I mean, we won it with what, 7 games to go or something,
Yeah.
and then after that, from what I've read, they all went out drinking for a meal of a week, nearly every night. They went to Qatar or something, didn't they, on a boat? I remember seeing pictures of that and reading something about that. So it's like been one massive party ever since, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think obviously the rest of the teams were poor last season. Like the table was kind of all over the place. And I think because he's won it in his first season, I don't think he won it very like it wasn't the best season in the Premier League anyway. So yes, he's won it, but there's no need to be arrogant about it because one, you use Klopp's team to do it, and two, the rest of the teams were poor. So to say he deserves more respect is a bit of a bold statement.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really want to talk too much about Arnie Slot because at the moment it's really starting to bug us. But I would like a quick thought on, in general, about the way he talks too much. That's all. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we've discussed this before we started recording about where he just seems to say too much in his press conferences.
I honestly think he's an idiot. Um, to go into a press conference before a game and go, "This is our weakness." You've basically just handed them the win on a silver platter. Why would you go into a press conference and go, "This is how you can beat us?" Because that's what he's doing. He's basically saying, "I want you to beat me. Here's how you do it." It's stupid.
Yeah, well, if you haven't watched it already, that's why I said I don't want to talk about it because I've covered it today. If you go back to this morning and check the videos I did this morning, there's one about Arnie Slot, what Paul Joyce has said. If you go and watch that, that's my opinion. Um, and I don't hold anything back. So let's have a bit of fun now. So who is your 11 Premier League Liverpool players?
Okay, so obviously it'd be Allison in nets because that's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Do you want to give an honourable mention though to anybody as well? So you can do your 11, but you could also maybe do an honourable mention maybe for Kelleher because I know you're a big fan of Kelleher.
I do love Kelleher. I think honestly, I think he didn't get used enough. And I think he didn't get the credit that he deserved either from the fans, to be honest. So it would be Allison and then Kelleher in the corner because Allison will probably get injured halfway through. I'd have Trent at right back. Like we said earlier, like there's nobody for me that even comes close to Trent. And then I would probably have Van Dijk and Skirtle as centre backs. I
Wow.
absolutely love Skirtle. Absolutely love him. And then Robbo on the left. Oh, midfield's a tricky one. Obviously Gerard, that's no brainer to me. Absolute no brainer.
Yeah, I think everybody's picked Gerard.
Um, and then I would have Tiago and probably Sabozlai. I think Sabozlai would make sense with them two because of his abilities. I think those three would work amazing together. And then up front would obviously be Mane, Firmino, and Salah. Nothing beats it, in my opinion. That I'd stick with that any day of the week.
Yeah, I think that's a good team, really good team. I mean, we're talking from 2018, aren't we? So you can't really argue with that team, really. The only one you could maybe do An honourable mention for is Henderson.
Yeah, yeah. The I've always loved Gerrard, but if it wasn't Gerrard, then it'd be Henderson. And I wanted to put Harvey Elliott in there, but it just wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, you can't put somebody in your Liverpool team just because you fancy him. That doesn't work. So tell us a bit more about matches you've been to, maybe Legends games, pre-season games, any Liverpool games, under 21s or anything like that.
Yeah, so we've been to the past, I want to say 4 Legends games. So we've been, I think it might be 3 actually. We went to Ajax, Chelsea, and this year was Dortmund Legends. Um, I honestly really enjoy the Legends games. I think it's a really like calm environment and the atmosphere is lovely. Actually, I don't think it was calm this weekend. Not with the people surround us.
No, well, I've seen there was over 60,000 people there.
There was a lot of people there, and it was such a lovely environment. I mean, Anfield is probably the best environment I've ever been in my life anyway. The atmosphere was just absolutely amazing. Um, and I think the best part for me about the Legends games is getting to see like Gerard every year and Skirtle, and obviously this year we had Tiago, which was amazing because I've actually experienced watching him while he was at Liverpool anyway. And I think it'll be interesting over the next few years to see which ones from recent seasons are now coming up to the Legends and being able to see like Henderson live and Fabinho and hopefully Salah in the not too distant future. I hope it's in the next like 3, 4 years. But you never know because he's still very fit, so could be a while.
Well, Jurgen Klopp actually said that he thinks that Salah could play for another 5 or 6 years. If he goes to Saudi or the MLS, definitely. I think he could play till he's 40 with ease. I mean, look at Ronaldo, he's 42.
Yeah, I mean Salah is quite fit and I think he could play for quite a few more years. I'm just being hopeful so I can see him. But yeah, do really enjoy the Legends games. It's a really good day out and it's lovely. And obviously, Klopp was there this year, um, which had me a bit emotional. And I think this year was definitely a difficult one to go to, um, because obviously it's the first one since Jota passed away. And on the 20th minute, it was quite upsetting because obviously all the players stopped and were clapping. And I've actually seen videos of Tiago up close, and he was in tears.
Yeah, he was.
It was awful. And actually, speaking of Jota, a year ago today was his last goal for us.
Yeah, against Everton in the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, so that was quite sad. Um, but it generally is a really good day out. And we've been to a pre-season game before. That was in August 2019. Yeah, it must have been 2019 because it was before COVID, which was really good. I mean, we got beat, but the atmosphere was lovely.
Yeah, and when you say day out, it literally is a day out, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
when we go, we try and get there for about 9:30, 10 o'clock. We go for a walk around, we go in the store, we go and check all the murals, if there's any new stuff. We do lots of different photographs, and we go to the Anfield Hotel. And on the one I've posted it actually on this channel, we went to watch a live act, which was really good. It was packed. We couldn't even get near the front. Every time we got in a good spot, someone would walk in front of the camera, and but that was really good. We were gutted though because we started recording, didn't we? And it was what song was it? There was the Crouch one, wasn't there? He's big, he's red, his feet fit out of the bed. Yeah, that came on. I thought I was recording it being a dim bat, and I wasn't recording it. Imogen said to me, "You're not recording it, Dad." I was like, "Ah." And then we were waiting for, was it Bobby Firmino we were waiting
Yeah,
for?
that's my favourite one. And literally, as it was about 2 o'clock, wasn't it? And we were like, right, we're gonna head down to the stadium because Jamie Webster's coming on in half an hour. Blah 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 blah. Leaving the door, and he starts singing it.
But yeah, I mean, if you haven't been to a Legends game, you want to get yourself there. Get your tickets nice and early. We got ours at the same day they came out.
Yeah, we got them on the day.
Problem was, though, usually we're quite up high in the main stand. You don't get as good a view. But this year we were in row 10 and we felt cramped.
It was so cramped, but I think it's nice being down there. Like you get to see the players a bit better, and I think it's a better environment down there, in my opinion. I think it's nice to be up high, but you can't see anything. You can't see them. I can't see who they are without my glasses on.
No, I can't.
Can barely see 'em when I was sat in row 10 without my glasses on. But I think it's just better because you can actually see where they are, and I didn't realise how big Peter Crouch was either till I was sat in row 10.
A big beanpole.
Yeah,
I forgot how thin his legs are, you know. Oh my God, they're pathetically thin. I've never seen legs like it.
honestly, it really shocked me. I was like, what?
So now we've done the Legends games and your Liverpool Premier League team. Let's finish off with what you'd like to see happen this summer and who you think we should sign.
So, if nobody leaves apart from Salah, we definitely need a right back. That's we need that. Yes, Connor Bradley's gonna be back soon, but I still think we need a backup because if he gets injured again or he has a knock, we need somebody else. We can't keep playing Sabozlai as a right back. It's wasting his abilities. We definitely need two centre backs, and then obviously if Kanate goes, then we need at least three. Um, we also need a number six and we need a left and right winger. So there's a lot of work to be done this summer. There's a lot of things to do. So I'm hoping that people have got the glasses on already and have been looking into players.
Yeah, I mean, for me, people will say, yeah, but we've got Frimpong. But I've just got a funny feeling that next season um, we'll bring another right back in. I agree with that. And I think Frimpong will be back up or even maybe a right winger and rotate between him and a new youngster because I think it'll be possibly that Yan Diamandi they'll sign for the right wing and then maybe another young lad for the left wing as backup for Gakpo. That's if Gakpo goes. If Gakpo goes, that only leaves us with Ungamoa. So do we need to get two left wingers? You know, or do we get another striker? I know we've got Isak and Ekitike, but if Isak keeps getting injured, look what's happened to Ekitike. They've knackered him out.
Yeah, I think this is our problem. We end up with too many of one sort of either midfield, up front, defence. And it's usually the midfield that we end up with loads. Like this season, we've got that many that it's hard to rotate them all so they're all getting game time, which is obviously why Elliot's been loaned out. I mean, get him back and get Curtis Jones out. Um, I think for me the main priority has got to be the defence this year because it's just crap this season. It's not there.
No, I mean we've discussed this before we came on camera. We're worried about our defence, to be honest. I mean, if Canate goes, Joe Gomez is that was last year. So's Virgil van Dijk. Robertson could be going. Bradley seems to be injury prone. You know, he gets one bad injury nearly every season, doesn't he? So I'm really worried about our defence. Allison as well. If Mamadashvili's not happy and wants to go out on loan, you know, Gakpo's been shite. Salah's not been great. He's going, obviously. You know, Isak's injury prone. I'm worried. I really am. I think there's a massive job to be done this summer. I think if we get a new manager, he's going to want his own players in, isn't he? And then you've got possibly Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards being linked to Saudi. You know, and then we're not getting this second club anymore. So all majority of them staff will be going as well. So I think there's a lot of changes this summer.
I think there is a lot to be done, but I also think can it all happen in one summer? It's a lot to get done. Like obviously, if Slot goes and the backroom staff go, like we've got to replace all of them, and then all the players, and it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time and things that go into it. So I don't think it's gonna be all done this summer. I don't think next season's gonna be anything special because there's no way it's gonna all happen over the summer and then get them all in before. Like they're not all gonna be in before pre-season. So they're not even going to get a full preseason. Plus, there's the World Cup this summer. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of the so-called FSG people going. because a lot of the people that they've took on, like Julian Ward and this global goalkeeping coach and all this sort of stuff, I can't see a lot of them staying now. Not now. There's only going to be Liverpool, because you've got Liverpool, and then you've got FSG staff, which is like Edwards, um, Julian Ward. They've basically put like a barrier between them. So you've got FSG's people, then you've got Richard Hughes, the sporting director, who's running Liverpool. So I don't see the point in all that now that they were only having Liverpool. And then we've also discussed as well, and we don't think FSG will be staying around much longer. We think they could be gone by 28.
Yeah, I think, with them selling all their other teams in America and, you know, you've said this to me many of times, like they're not football men, they're businessmen. And we kind of need somebody to be owner that's actually into football and loves the football.
Yeah.
I think it'd give the club more passion and it'd give us like the fans would know like right, he's gonna do what's right in the football world rather than what's right from a business point of view.
See, a lot of fans, they don't really like Middle Eastern ownership, people with the oil and stuff like that. People don't really want them in. But I remember before FSG took over at Liverpool and Qatar wanted us, the Qatar Investment Fund, they wanted to buy Liverpool. They actually offered more money than FSG. But because the fans kicked off and said, we don't want no dirty money, we don't want blood money, it didn't happen. But you can say whatever you want about blood money and dirty money. Yeah, I agree. Some of it isn't great. But people in the Middle East, they love the football, absolutely love it.
They do, but also when you look at clubs like City, they've got a lot of money, Newcastle, Chelsea, and I think it's kind of at that point now in football where if you don't have money, you're not getting far because everybody's buying these great players for stupid prices, like 200 million, 150 million. It's a lot of money to be spending on a player. And I think now, like, if you don't have the money, you're not getting very far.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, but also you've got to think about FFP as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Look at all the money that Newcastle have got. They're the richest team in the world by a country mile. Their owners could buy every single Premier League club if they wanted to. But they can't spend money. I mean, I've seen an article today where they might be having to sell Tonali for 80 million to stay in line with FFP. So it's not always about money, it's about spending it wisely.
Yeah, I think, yeah, obviously with FFP, you've got to do it sensibly and follow the rules, but then you've got teams like City who don't. So it's one of them, it's a catch 22.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from what I've read, I don't know how true it is, but City could be getting deducted 60 points before the end of the season. If that's true, bye bye, City. See you in the championship.
Yeah, that would make my year. I would laugh. I would.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything for this video. So if you've got any questions for Imogen or for me, put it in the comments. We'll answer them for you, no problem. If you'd like us to do any more videos, give us an idea of what sort of videos you want to cover. We are going to do one probably about our youth team, and maybe we might even do a video about the ladies. I'm not sure. I've done a few. People don't seem to be bothered about the women's side of it. I don't mind it. I don't mind doing them because I like covering things that are different that not many people do, and I don't see many people covering LFC women, which is a shame. I mean, Gareth Taylor has turned the women around so well. I mean, when he took over, we only had 2 points, and now I think we're out of relegation. Just winning the derby, Merseyside derby, 3-2. But that's for further down the line. So, is there anything you want to say, Imogen, before we end this video?
I've really enjoyed it and I hope I'll be back
Yeah, you'll be back soon. I don't know when. Depends how much you pester me.
soon.
That's it for this, guys. Take it easy.